Yeah, sure. Hey, Dave. I'm wondering if what you thought about the job Wes Johnson has done at Georgia. Has it surprised you at all how quickly he's got that program up and where it's at right now?
Well, first off, I think he's done a great job, and no, it doesn't surprise me a bit. He's a great coach, and he hired some really good coaches, and they're in a really, really good baseball area. You're talking 80 miles from Atlanta, just a great part of the country for high school baseball, and um, doesn't surprise me a bit.
I want to ask you about Ryder Helfrich. It seems like the last 3 weeks or so he's been really hitting the ball well. He's got an average over 300 now. Just what's changed for him, or has anything changed for him?
Well, there's been a few things changed. I don't want to give away too many secrets, but he's definitely made some adjustments. He had a really good summer. He's a really good hitter in high school and summer ball. Didn't go great last year as a freshman, but we still hit him because we thought he could hit, and starting to come out a little bit. He did a really good job against Vanderbilt, staying through the middle of the field, hit a triple down the right field line, and he's athletic. He can get an infield hit. He can bunt a little bit. He's just kind of growing up as a hitter and as a player, and maybe relaxed a little bit.
At Baron, go ahead.
Yeah, good morning, Dave. Just wanted to ask about the starting rotation for this weekend, if you plan to roll it out in the same order, same guys.
Same order, same guys. Yep. Left,
Nice.
left. Yep.
And then on Tuesday, you were saying that the guys were a little lethargic with it being a midweek in between conference. Are you more satisfied with the energy level, as you're about to travel?
Well, it's the way the weekend was. We didn't play Friday, pouring down rain. Saturday, doesn't look like we're going to play. We're not sure. So then mentally, they're probably like, they're not sure. And then it got cold. So we got to play Friday, or excuse me, Saturday evening in some really cold, wet weather, and then played two games the next day in basically the same weather. Might have been, it was even colder. It was just not quite as wet. Although when we first got out there, it was misting. And I just think it warmed down a little bit. The 7 inning games, they go fast. But really, we played three games in less than 24 hours. And then they have the next day off, but that's when they kind of recover and lift. And then we're out there playing again. And so I don't think it was, that they don't want to play. I just felt like, it's just human nature. And I was just watching them. And they kind of jumped to it second, third inning. It's like it got going again for them. They did a nice job there. And then yesterday it was a good workout. It was light, just went over a few things. Weather was nice. Late afternoon is when we worked out, when it was in the 70s. And now we're here today. We're going to head out of here in just a little bit and get a workout in Athens tonight.
Yeah, and just to kind of go off that, I know that conditions weren't good, and some new guys have been in some new spots. There's been a few errors in the past few games that haven't come back to bite you, but is that a concern?
Yeah, that one area again on Tuesday was that we didn't have a play at home plate two different times, and our outfield threw the ball to home plate, and one of them didn't hurt us. The other one, the runner advanced, and it still didn't hurt us. They didn't get a hit to drive them in, but we addressed that yesterday and spent some time on that and discussed that. And uh, the other one, I don't remember. I think we had a catcher throwing there on I don't know what happened there, a mix up where one runner stole and one didn't. And the one that stole was on the back end for Missouri. And instead of getting the out, we gave him a run and went from there. The other was a hard hit ground ball to the left to Souza that could have been a double play ball, and he didn't field it. But if you look at, if you know anything about baseball, that happens every now and then. You're going to make some errors. So, uh, yeah, I mean, when you're fielding 990 almost, and then you make a couple errors, it stands out a little bit. But we have a good team.
Hey, Christina, go ahead.
Yeah, Dave, on Wes Johnson, when he was here, how much of an influence did he have on kind of integrating more technology and analytics into how you guys do things?
Well, that was kind of the beginning of it, in my opinion. He brought it with him, um, because that was what was going on, and we wanted that. And so I would say that's probably where it got started on the pitching side. And obviously, I liked what I saw. He leaves. I wanted to hire somebody that was kind of the same way, and Coach Hobbs. So yeah, definitely brought the knowledge of technology and wanted to do it, and we started opening that up a lot.
And then based on what you saw from Justin Thomas, when he was a freshman at Georgia, how do you feel like he's grown in his time in your program now?
It was interesting. We played them 2 years ago when he was a freshman. He didn't play against us, but we watched him hit. We watch all, the other teams BP, especially on the road. And you just knew he was athletic. Obviously, he went to junior college at Florida Junior College, and then one of our former players and coaches was there as a first-time coach, Cullen Smith, and Cullen liked him. We asked Cullen about him. We knew we were going to need a center fielder. It was just he could do everything. We just needed to know he was going to hit a little bit, and he got off to a really slow start in the spring of his sophomore year there, and then he really kicked it into gear and was good. And he's been good here, so it's been fun to watch him develop.
You were mentioned at Swatters Club that Gage Wood might make the roster this weekend. Do you have an update on that?
Well, he's going on the trip. I don't know if he'll be on the 30-man. I would say I probably won't put him on the 30-man. But he's getting close. He's getting close. Bullpen's been good, and he's going to throw another one this weekend. That's one reason he's going with us. He'd go anyway, but he is going to throw a bullpen while we're there. And hey, maybe he'll be ready for the next weekend. We'll see.
Dudley, go ahead.
Obviously, scoring more runs and not allowing runs is big on the road, but what's the mentality you have to take to be a successful road team?
Well, I think you just have to be confident and know that you can play with anybody in the country. And you never know how it's going to go anywhere, even at home. Just kind of do what we've been doing and show up and play hard. And if we win, we win. If we don't, we don't. We feel like that we've been pretty consistent from day one, and we don't make a lot of mistakes. We throw the ball over the plate, and that's a good recipe for winning at any level of college or any level of baseball, not just college baseball. Georgia can really score. I mean, they got 92 home runs somewhere in there, lead the country. No lead safe. You got to know that when you're playing them, and just play. It's different. They had a beautiful grass surface last time I was there, and many a times I was there, and I was kind of surprised that they went to turf just because of how nice it was. But I know they had to go underneath the outfield to bring in some power and different things to their new facility. But they play on turf now, and we're used to that. We played there, against Vandy. But it's a different game when you play on turf a little bit. But yeah, it's going to it'll be a good series. It'll be a real good series.
Appreciate it.
Mark, if you wouldn't mind introducing yourself before asking a question, go ahead.
Hey, this is Mark Weiser at the Athens Banner Herald. Can you hear me, Coach?
How you doing? Yeah.
Doing well. Hey, having been with Wes at Arkansas, then seeing him, go on to do what he did in his coaching career after. What do you make of how he's built this Georgia program?
Well, I mean, he's done a great job, and it's been quick. And like I said, good baseball guy, hired some really good coaches. And then, if you talk to coaches all around our league, we think Athens is a great place. The University of Georgia's big name school, and you have incredible talent in your region. And then you throw in the portal. We talk about this as a coach all the time. You can get real good or real bad real quick now, just the way you can do things. And they've done a great job.
Being a pitching coach, though, this is a team, as you mentioned, that leads the SEC in homers. What about that formula for them?
Home runs are good. Home runs score runs quick. Solo home runs most of the time won't beat you. 2 and 3 run homers will get you, and they've hit a lot of them. So, like I said, no lead is safe when you're playing Georgia, and especially at Georgia. They seem to almost be unbeatable there. So it'll be a big, big challenge for us, and we know it.
Thank you.
Anthony, same to you. If you wouldn't mind introducing yourself.
No problem. Yeah, Coach Anthony Dasher from UGA Sports. HawgBeat.com. Another West question. When he was with you, did he talk much about his desire to become a head coach? I know that's right before he went to the Twins, but had he spoken to you at any length about, maybe wanted to do this one day?
Yeah, he talked about wanting to be a head coach down the road. We had a few conversations here and there. He's here a couple of years, and he'd make the comment. It seems like it was like, I want to do what you're doing one day and keep moving up, because it was really hard for him to leave Arkansas to go to the Twins. I'll be honest with you, he was really emotional with me. I mean, like, you could tell that he did not want to leave. He loved Fayetteville, University of Arkansas. Probably the way I treated him, because I treat my coaches good. I let him coach. I don't micromanage him. And I think he appreciated that a lot. But it was almost like he had to take the Twins job, and he'll probably tell you that. And when he was with the Twins towards the end, he made a few calls to me about a few things, but we'll keep that between Wes and I. And I'm just glad that he got the job that he was looking for.
Do you see similarities in the way he coaches, maybe the way you try to go about your business?
Well, I'm sure there's some. I didn't coach with him long enough, and he handled the pitchers exclusively back then. I think I would think that he might take something from me, but maybe I'll know more after this weekend, because I haven't coached against him yet as him being a head coach.
Daniel, go ahead.
Hi, Coach. It seems like a couple times Souza was right, like about to break out, and then he'd go on the SEC and, struggle again. He had a couple hits against Missouri and then a couple hits in the midweek. Just kind of where is he at in his development?
Well, and he had a couple of huge hits against Vandy, against some really good pitching. So he can hit good pitching. He's a good athlete. He looks physically like you want him to look, and I think he's coming along defensively. From the day he walked in the door to where he is now, he's so much better. And I think offensively, he's getting there, and he's dangerous. You make a mistake, he can pop you, but he can also beat out a bunt. So it's a rare combo these days.
Hey, Matt, jump back in.
Yeah, Vanderbilt was a tough place to play, and then you guys swept them. Obviously, much of the same with playing at Georgia. I guess just are you kind of saying the same things to your guys? Are they saying the same things to themselves?
Well, I don't know what they're saying to themselves, and I haven't said anything about Vandy since we left there. It's different situation, a couple weeks out. I think what you do is you gain experience and confidence from going on the road and winning. And maybe there's a point you can go back to and say, hey, remember how we did this or do that. But, I'll tell you what happens in this league, and it happens in the big leagues. It's kind of when you catch people. Is their number one pitcher pitching? Is somebody cut two of their guys sick? Are they just in a little bit of a funk offensively? It helps you. Are they on fire when you get there? And then you got to just try to slow them down. You got to try to survive and get out of there. So you never know what you're going to run into. But what we do know is what we do. And if we do that, we have a chance. It doesn't mean we're going to win a game, win the series or anything. It just means that we have a chance. And, that's the good thing about our team this year.
Daniel, and then Anthony, wrap us up, please.
I guess just off that, do you all mention the fact that Georgia was swept last week and kind of when y'all are catching them? Does that make it into the meetings and the discussions before the series?
Well, they got swept at Texas. They got walked off the field in game 3. I got watched game 1 because we were flooded out here. And they were right in that game to win it for 5 innings. Some things just happened. That's what I'm saying. One pitch or one bloop single can change the whole series. No, I haven't said one thing about them losing 3. And if I did, it'd be like, yeah, we're going to catch them with their hair on fire because they need some wins. But then, they go and score 16 runs on Tuesday and hit 4 homers, right back to old Georgia. So I just think it's the league. And I've been in this league for 20 plus years now, and I don't get too high or low, and I don't want our team to get too high or low. I want to keep climbing the ladder. And if you have a bad weekend, then you got to make it up somewhere. And, I can't make one series bigger than it is or bigger than the next one, because We got A&M coming down the pike, Texas, Tennessee, A&M, and Florida. So they're all the same. They're all really good. Whether their record is, 2-10 or 10-2, it really doesn't matter. You have to play well.
Anthony, wrap it up, please.
Yep. Dave, I just want to get your take on Georgia's pitching this year. You look at the statistics and maybe not, that impressed, but then you kind of go behind that. You look at the power arms that West has brought in. He's got a lot of them. It's kind of what's your take on what you see from that group this year?
Yeah, I don't look at the stats, the numbers too much. I might look at some matchups, left against left, right against right, whatever, vice versa, maybe for a situation for starting one guy here or there. But what I do look at is the stuff, and the velocity and we all have technology. We can figure things out. Who's got a big time carry fastball and who's got a nasty slider and plus changeup. And they've got a lot of those guys. So maybe they've run into some bad luck or given up one hit that's hurt an ERA a little bit, but we know what we're getting into. And, it's going to be an interesting series because you have two teams that are kind of alike in a way, if you really look at it. So, and then we're on the road, so advantage Georgia. But this is going to be another tough challenge on the road for our team, and I just really look forward to seeing how we handle it.
Thanks, sir.
Coach, thanks for your time.
Okay, we'll see you guys.